Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing amazing today. In this video, we're diving into the latest updates about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. You don't want to miss this. So make sure to stay tuned till the end and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. The studio lights were warm, familiar, and comforting, just like they had been for decades. The audience applauded, the cameras rolled, and Kelly Ripa took her place with her signature smile. To the millions watching at home, everything looked normal, polished, professional. But beneath the surface, something had shifted. Something heavy, painful, and deeply personal had cracked open a moment that no one, least of all Kelly, was prepared for. Kelly Ripa has always been known for her infectious energy. Her laughter fills rooms, her wit disarms guests, and her warmth makes viewers feel like they're sitting across from a trusted friend. For years, she has shared pieces of her life on screen, her marriage, her children, her triumphs, and her struggles. Yet nothing could have prepared fans for the raw, unfiltered emotion that unfolded when an unexpected revelation about infidelity surfaced. It wasn't planned, it wasn't scripted, and it certainly wasn't part of the show. The conversation began innocently enough, centered around relationships and trust, topics Kelly had discussed many times before. She listened, nodded, smiled politely. But then, as the dialogue deepened, something changed in her expression. Her eyes softened, her voice faltered, and suddenly, the walls she had so carefully built over the years began to crumble. Kelly paused. The studio grew quiet. Her co-host noticed first the subtle shift, the silence that lingered too long. Kelly took a breath, tried to laugh it off, but the emotion surged faster than she could contain it. Her eyes welled with tears, and when she spoke again, her voice trembled. "I didn't expect this to hit me so hard," she admitted. That was the moment viewers realized this wasn't just a conversation, it was personal. Infidelity is a word heavy with pain. It carries betrayal, broken trust, and emotional scars that don't fade easily. For someone in the public eye, the weight of such experiences can be magnified tenfold. Every feeling is scrutinized, every reaction analyzed. Yet in that moment, Kelly wasn't a television icon or a media personality. She was simply human. As tears streamed down her face, she spoke about the devastating impact infidelity can have, not just on romantic relationships, but on one's sense of self. Her words weren't accusatory or dramatic. They were honest, vulnerable, painfully real. "There's a moment when you question everything," she said softly. "You question your judgment, your worth, and whether the life you thought you had was ever real." The audience sat frozen. No applause, no murmurs, just silence and empathy. Kelly didn't specify names or details, and she didn't need to. The power of the moment lay in its universality. Millions of people watching had lived through similar heartbreaks, discovering lies, confronting betrayal, or rebuilding themselves after trust had been shattered. In that instant, Kelly became a mirror for their pain. She wiped her tears, trying to regain composure, but emotion lingered in her voice. "What people don't talk about enough," she continued, "is how long it takes to heal. Even when you forgive, even when you move forward, pieces of that hurt stay with you." Her co-host gently reached out, offering support without words. The cameras didn't cut away. They stayed. And that decision made all the difference. In an industry obsessed with perfection, Kelly's vulnerability felt revolutionary. For years, fans have admired her marriage, often seeing it as a rare example of longevity in Hollywood. That admiration made the moment even more striking. It challenged the illusion that fame somehow shields people from pain. It doesn't. If anything, it exposes it. Kelly later acknowledged that speaking so openly wasn't easy, but it was necessary. "We don't always have to be strong," she said. "Sometimes strength is admitting that something broke you, and you're still here." Social media erupted almost instantly. Viewers praised her honesty, calling the moment brave, heart-wrenching, and refreshingly real. Messages flooded in from fans who felt seen, heard, and understood. Many shared their own stories of betrayal and healing, thanking Kelly for giving voice to emotions they'd long buried. But not everyone understood. Some questioned whether such vulnerability belonged on daytime television. Others speculated endlessly, searching for clues, details, and hidden meanings. Kelly, however, refused to be pulled into the noise. She didn't owe anyone explanations. Her truth didn't require clarification. What mattered was the conversation she sparked. Infidelity is often discussed in whispers, wrapped in shame and secrecy. Kelly's emotional breakdown shattered that silence. It reminded people that betrayal isn't just a headline, it's a deeply personal wound that alters lives. In the days following the episode, Kelly addressed the moment briefly, thanking fans for their kindness. "I didn't plan to cry," she said with a small smile. "But sometimes your heart speaks louder than your intentions." That honesty resonated more than any polished statement ever could. Kelly Ripa has built a career on relatability, but this moment transcended entertainment. It was a reminder that even those who appear strong, successful, and joyful carry unseen battles. And sometimes, allowing the world to see those cracks is the most powerful thing a person can do. In breaking down, Kelly didn't show weakness, she showed courage. She showed that healing isn't linear. That pain doesn't disappear just because time passes. And that sharing your story, even in tears, can help others feel less alone. As the show moved on, the lights brightened again, the applause returned, and the moment passed, but its impact lingered. Because somewhere in living rooms across the world, someone watching felt understood. And that may be Kelly Ripa's most meaningful broadcast yet. What made the moment even more powerful was what happened after the tears. Kelly didn't retreat behind humor or quickly ship topics, as so many television personalities might. Instead, she stayed present. She allowed the discomfort to exist, and in doing so, she modeled something rarely seen on live television: emotional accountability. She spoke about resilience, not the glossy, inspirational kind, but the messy version that involves doubt, setbacks, and learning how to trust again. "You don't wake up one day magically healed," she admitted. "Healing happens in fragments. Some days you're fine. Other days, you're right back there." Those words struck a chord because they reflected a truth many people live with quietly. Infidelity doesn't just fracture relationships, it fractures time. It pulls the past into the present, blurring lines between who you were and who you are trying to become. Kelly's openness gave language to that confusion. Behind the scenes, producers later acknowledged the gravity of the moment. There was no dramatic music, no commercial interruption rushed in to soften the impact. The authenticity was respected, and that restraint allowed the emotion to breathe. For Kelly, the episode marked a subtle but meaningful shift. It reminded audiences that her long-standing appeal isn't just her charm or humor, but her willingness to show up as herself, even when that self is hurting. In an era of curated perfection, her tears felt radical. Perhaps the most lasting effect wasn't the headlines or the social media buzz, but the quiet conversations that followed. Couples talked. Friends checked in on one another. Viewers reflected on their own journeys through trust and betrayal. Kelly Ripa didn't just share a moment of pain, she opened a door. And through it walked countless people who realized that vulnerability, when shared honestly, can become a form of healing not just for one person, but for many. Stay tuned for all the updates about Kelly Ripa. We are the first to publish all the information about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, so stay with us to get all the latest updates. And stay tuned to our Kelly and Mark report for all updates.